Alright, for this project, you're going to want archival ink. I'm using the Big Grumpy stamp. There's the Big Grumpy. And then I'm going to also use the You Are Weird, Never Change sentiment. So, what I do is I'm going to stamp Big Grumpy first. And then I'll add the sentiment in just a little bit. You're also going to need watercolor paper. This is cut down to 3 1/4 by 4, and it goes just nicely on this pattern paper, which I cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and it will just mat on top of here like this. And then the pattern paper then will go on this A2 size card base. That is cardstock. And then we'll glue this onto here, and it'll be a super duper fun card. And I always like to find my pattern paper first, because then I can decide what colors I want to use. These are very gem colors and very springy colors, so I chose those to go with it. And then you'll need some adhesive to put it all together. So to stamp this, I'm just going to put Big Grumpy right where I think it should be. That looks like a good spot. I'm going to use my Misty to put it all in place. Put my magnet down just in case. I don't think it's going to move, but you never know. My archival ink that I love. You can also use Tailored Expressions Hybrid ink, and that also works. And I could have used brown, and maybe I should have. And then I'm going to press down. And I almost got it. Good thing I have my Misty so I can see. Looks like I need to get my little feet a little bit better. Oh, that is perfect. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and congrats, you know me less than most people. And I'm going to put that right here. I'm going to put that down. I can move Big Grumpy out of the way. And put that back on my thing. I'm going to stamp it. Hopefully it's straight. I did not actually check, but it is, so good deal. They also come, this Big Grumpy is one of my favorites. I get requests for these cards all the time. I also have the Big Grumpy birthday edition, and I love it because one of my favorites is Abracadabra, nope, you're still old, or happy birthday, I was going to drink anyways. Make a wish, then blow out the bonfire. You know some friends that have quite the bonfire for a birthday cake. It's fun. Anyways, all fun and games. And then when I'm done with this, I can just get into the watercolor. And I always like to watercolor and then put my paper on. So we will get my beautiful MeiLang watercolor palette out. It is wonderful, and then I can kind of pick and choose, but I think I'll be going with the hooker's green. I'll probably do a purple and a brown. Probably just hooker's green and brown, and maybe some pinks or blues. It really doesn't have to be a whole lot, but what I do like about this card is I kind of negative paint. So I got my water right here. I'm going to get my protective thing off. And let's just start. We're going to go with this light blue. We're going to paint that around everything. I think that'll look nice with the blue in the pattern paper. This blue right here. That will look nice. And I'm going to go literally around. Ooh, that is... I did not have a clean brush like I thought. Whoops. That's okay. That just means... Whew. I don't know what is going on with that blue, but yuck. We gotta have a nice clean blue. We don't want no yellow in it. I'm betting I did that. Alright, so if I were to negative paint this, I can just go right around the Big Grumpy guy. And this brush holds a lot of water, so I can really get a lot. And let's say I want some more pigment. I can just add it and it'll just kind of go where the water is. Pigment will always, water will go where water is. So if you don't want it there, don't have water with it. Sometimes that's an easier rule to follow. You can control watercolor a lot if you just know that watercolor goes where water is. For worse or for better, that's how that works. It's a simple rule that you can always tell yourself. Water goes where water is. It will stay put. Yeah, how pretty. Okay. I like the top. Let's work on the bottom now. I'd be curious, do you guys negative paint? I really like this stamp. It's easy to paint. And I could even kind of make him ground, like put him like on like some grass or something. But this is just for fun. I think that if I didn't have background paper, then I would. I'm just making that wet so then I can just go in and add a little bit of blue. Ooh, I'm loving that, and I'm loving that texture. Very pretty. Now you could have taped it down or whatever, but I think it'll look just fine this way. Alright, now let's get our little grumpy started. I'm going to use like a yellow ochre or a raw sienna for the first part of this grumpy. And I'm trying to think if I want to go in with the sign or not. And sometimes I do and sometimes I don't, but I think I will. So I'm going to go around literally the whole grumpy, paying attention to where my end is. I don't mind if the yellow gets in a little bit to the blue, but I don't want it to be like overkill. Just a little bit. It's going to be an even-ish flat wash. A flat wash is like, it's pretty even in tone value. Like I don't have thicker paint versus non-thicker paint. Except for maybe on the ends of this sign, which is fine. But this is just so much fun, like watercolor. You can really have fun with it. Okay, and because I added more of that, I'm going to go back over here and do the same. Just so we're kind of in the same part. Okay, so this sign is going to be very yellow, which is perfect. Okay, now we can go in, and I think this grumpy guy is going to be a little bit brown. Okay, I'm going to use like a burnt umber for the brown, and I'm actually going to add a little bit of I'm going to add a little bit of blue to it because I already have this blue, so I might as well like use color harmony to the best of my ability. So I'm going to add some of this blue to this brown, and it's just going to give it a richer, and this is a burnt umber brown. I like doing this. It makes the browns richer. You don't have to, and it does give it a bit more color harmony. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to, this is just a wash. It can be very, and I'm going to almost outline some of it, and that's okay. And then I'll go back in and make things a little bit darker wherever I think I need it to be. But there's yellow ochre or raw sienna underneath, so it's already going to give it a nice warm feel. I'm just adding that brown mix to it. And actually this is his belly, so I don't have to paint his belly. I think his belly is just fine the way it is. Okay. There's that, and then we'll make his little tail or whatever that is. Oh, so fun. Alright, I'm going to go with a thicker paint with just the brown, and it's going to be a bit thicker. And I'm going to go in definitely around his ears. And around his little head. And we gotta get his nose. I don't think he needs to be very colorful. Like, that's not the point. The color comes from the paper. One more. This hand needs to be done. There we go. I'm liking that. I'm gonna go right in here. And a little bit more right here. There. Oh, so fun! Okay. And I think we're good. I think that looks really good. We're gonna go ahead and get the rest of the card kind of made up. I'm just cleaning up a little bit of this edge right here. I just saw a little bit that needs fixed, but there we go. There's that. I can be done with my watercolor palette. Put my protector on, and then my swatch, and then the paperwork that went with it, just so I have it. Put that away, and now we'll let that dry for just a tad bit. Let's work on the rest of it. Okay. I use this Scotch Advanced Tape Glider. I love it. It's my favorite. You put a refillable tape runner adhesive in it, and it works like a dream. And I just, for this, I don't need a whole lot. 3 stripes down I think is good. And I will place this in the middle so it's like a frame. And that's good. Now I can always dry this off with like a hair dryer. I'm going to show you some other adhesives that I like to mount with my watercolor paper. I get foam sheets like this. That's like mounting squares. You can get them on a roll. I just get them in sheets. Sometimes it's easier. And I think this is about the right size. So lucky for me, I'm not actually going to have to cut or do anything special. It is still going to dry a little bit, but I can go ahead and get it started. There's not a whole lot that needs to be done. So I will take off the backing on one side. Stick it right on here, and then take the backing off again, and then I can just mount it to this card base. Oh my gosh, how stinking cute is that card! And all I did was just do a little bit of stamping. Look at that, so darling. Now what I did see is this yellow is like, it doesn't quite work with the color scheme. So very, very gently, I'm going to go back in with my brown, and I'm going to add some brown I am such a perfectionist. No one else is going to know this, but I am, and that will probably be enough for me to just add a little bit extra. And I'm just going to color it in just so I get rid of all that yellow. I don't mind that yellow, but it is just really, really yellow. So if you ever need to fix it, you can. That's not going to hurt the mounting tape. There, that does look better. There we go. Cute card. Hope you guys enjoy this tutorial on stamping. Isn't this going to be fun? I know exactly who I'm going to send this to. I'm sending this to my other crafty friend who needs a smile in her life. So anyways, talk to you guys soon. Happy painting!